This video is for newbie authors. I'm going to walk you through step by step through one of my actual documents of one of my actual books. Everything from the title page to the front matter to the back matter, everything. So hopefully this video is going to help you out. So stay until the end so you make sure you don't miss anything. This was actually a video that was special requested by a couple of the viewers actually. So I really hope I do it justice. So you want to write a book, but you don't know how. Maybe you don't know how to set up your document, or even, where to begin with your story, how to format it. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how. Okay, so we are pulling up a document right here in Word, so you can see how to set up your document. So it's easy as this file, new document, or open your Word app. I always do the first page is the title, Apartment to Be by Webster, and the second page is the copyright page, what I always do. And someone asked me, where do I even get this information? I actually copy and paste the same information into each of my documents, but of course I got it from somewhere in the very beginning. I googled to see what some of the best places were, and there's this one. I will provide a link for you. This one's Scribe Media, and they actually have really good information about the copyright page. They actually even have some like templates, so you can go with something very, very basic, or if you wanted something that was like a little more involved, you could get that one, kind of like mine. Mine's kind of in between. This one has like a lot of information, but this isn't the only place. You can look everywhere, and it goes into how it protects you and all of those things. So you definitely need this. Put that on there just right away. I also like to do a dedication. This one's to my sister. And then the blurb. The blurb is very important. With all of my blurbs, I go ahead and stick them in the document, but if you notice up top, there's the like a little header or whatever, and I try to put in like keywords that would be helpful for finding this book. So like new adult romance, dark, gripping, and anyway, and then I also put the trigger warning in there, so hopefully that people, if they have triggers, they can look at that and avoid the book or whatever, know what they're getting into. Since this is a really old book, this is the second one that I published, I went ahead and put in like a little note to the reader. And I mean, you can do whatever you want. I told them, this is a new book or an old book of mine, so, have some grace. I always set it up bolded, prologue, and then the point of view. And then as you can see, if you look in the paragraph, it's double spaced. And I just leave all the generic, settings. I just change it to double space because I feel like you can see it better. When people just do single space, I feel like it's all jammed together and you don't find errors as easily. This is just, and also it kind of mimics like what a real page would look like in a book. So that's why I like it. I use Times New Roman 12-point font. You can see where I've gone to chapter 1, and then it's a point of view. I indent with each paragraph. Each time like new action happens or somebody else speaks, they get their own little paragraph. It makes it for smoother reading. And then as you can see through here, there's like a paragraph divider here. So like if it's like a scene break. So I do the 3 dots because then I can find them easier whenever I'm formatting. So anytime whenever you end a scene and it doesn't go into another chapter, you can do the scene break. And then chapter 2. Anyway, so that kind of shows you a little bit about that. Let's see. And we'll scroll down to the bottom so you can kind of see how I end the book. Let's see here. Okay, after the epilogue. Okay, so right here, instead of writing the end, I just do 3 dots, and then I say, I hope you enjoyed, something about this story. I hope you enjoyed Sydney's story in Apartment 2B. are you looking for your next heart-stopping dark romance read? Because we want to send them somewhere else. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's a standalone, they can't go anywhere else. Well, this is a standalone, and I'm sending them to something else that's similar. If you don't have any other books, you could send them to the next book you're working on, or anything, sign up for your newsletter, maybe for a bonus story or something. Anyway, I tell them about a new book that they should read. I also include about the author. You can also have an acknowledgments section. But now that my books are getting, I have so many books, it's just easier to condense this. And plus, with it ever changing, I don't like to get in there and rechange stuff. So I have a list of all the books. Join my newsletter, join my Facebook group. Let's see, we've got all of my social media where they can follow, because I want them to go look at all that stuff too. And then a lot of times I'll do an excerpt of the book that I mentioned above so that they can go and buy it. And at the end, I'll hyperlink it or whatever, and then they can go read that book next or whatever. So the goal is to make it easy for them to go on to the next thing of yours. As you can see, this book it's not long. It's 52,000 words, 157 pages. So, then you just save it or whatever, and that way you have your document all set up and ready to go. And yeah, so another thing you can do is you can do dictation, and if you want, I don't really do that one, but the editor is really cool because you can kind of self-edit, and Word has a really good self-editing thing. And you can check the spelling. It'll tell you, okay, Crazy Land, well, I just made that up, so I can leave that. You can ignore, go on. So they don't like that one, but anything that you have on there, you can go in there and check. And this is really good to do before you even send it to the editor, because you're, cleaning it up as much as you can. Then they talk about grammar, this doesn't make sense, you should change this, or, what is this? And so they try to fix it for you. So, and you can either fix it or move on or whatever. They even have this looks kind of cool, where you can check for similarity for online sources. I haven't ever clicked that button, but they've got clarity, all kinds of stuff. So there you have it. Hopefully that was easy for you to understand and you could follow along. There are other, novel writing programs. There's just all kinds of different ones. I've used a couple of them, but to be honest, Word is my favorite. A lot of people will write in Google Docs. I just feel like Word is more universally used, and it's easier for me to get a document to send to an editor and that they can get in and do whatever they got to do. Google Docs, those are great if you're doing a co-write or something, because you both can work on the document at the same time. I've done that before. My absolute favorite is Word because it's free if you've already got the Office suite, and it's just easy. A lot of us learned Word in school and in our jobs and stuff, so I just feel like it's the easiest to navigate. That's just my preference if you're starting out, especially. Now, once you get into it and you start learning how to, set up your books and, do different scenes and characters and all this stuff, then yeah, maybe you do want to go into one of those other programs, especially if you're a heavily outlining type of person. Because that kind of stuff will let you block off scenes and things like that. But for me, I'm just a very chronological writer, so it makes sense for me to use Word. And then if I have comments, or you can put comments in the sections. If I have if I read through and I find something that would make a good teaser, I'll highlight it and then put a comment and say teaser, so that later, whenever I'm making teasers, I can just quickly scroll through the document and find those. So anyway, feel free to pop down any questions for me that you have about this. If you wanted me to explain anything else in more detail, I'd be happy to make a video about that. I'm just trying to help you guys. I realize that I take a lot of things for granted, like my knowledge, and some of these things that I remember whenever I first started my own book. The very first one, I had to Google, how do I set up a book to, how do I set up a Word document to write a book? Because I didn't know. And so hopefully this is kind of a one-stop shop for you, and you can kind of, learn how to do the back matter and, all the things that I kind of had to piece together over time. So Anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.